They say 2 moments reveal who we truly are: the patience we hold when we have nothing, and the values we uphold when we have everything. Character is not built in ease, but in the quiet, unseen moments when we choose faith over fear, dignity over despair, and purpose over comfort. True elevation comes not from wealth or status, but from the grace of one's morals. A person with a gentle soul, strong faith, and resilient spirit is truly rare and truly rich, regardless of life's hardships. Today, we are honored to meet such a woman. She is someone who has walked through her own storms, facing self-doubt, inner criticism, and societal barriers, and emerged not only stronger, but determined to uplift others. She turned her trials into tools, her pain into purpose, and her voice into a source of healing. Join me at this episode of the Leaders Code podcast as we step into the story of a woman who not only rose, but is helping others rise with her. Amatullah Tasneem, the founder of Empowered Muslimah Coach. Welcome here today, Amatullah. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Awa. That was such a beautiful introduction. I'm honored to be here with you on this podcast.
You are welcome. Tell me about yourself. Tell us about yourself more.
Sure. My name is Amatullah Tasneem, and I'm the founder of Empowered Muslimah Coaching. I am deeply, deeply passionate about empowering women, helping them connect with themselves first, and guiding them to unlock their true potential that is inside of them, somewhere lost underneath the expectations, the social barriers, and all the titles that we wear. So my job is to help them unlock, remove all the titles, and to see them the way that God created.
I know that you told me before that the technique that you are using are NLP, Islamic psychology, and mindset work. How that blend of knowledge shape you as Amatullah, as in personal leadership first?
All right. So some of my mindset tools that helped me through my transformation, first was whatever is happening, it's for me, not against me. So that automatically pulls you out of that victim mode and puts you into a victor mindset. Like, okay, if this is happening for me, then what's the wisdom? What is it that I need to learn? And that also helps me move forward instead of being stuck in the situation. Mm-hmm. And that's something I teach women as well, like never to be in that victim mode. You're always a victor, and look what is it that this situation is trying to teach you. Instead of pulling yourself down, what's the wisdom behind it? So that's one powerful mindset technique that has always worked for me.
You just told me about a powerful project that you are doing with mothers now. It's about parenting. Mm-hmm. I know that our home is the first organization that our children go through in their life. Mm-hmm. What's this project about? Why it's so important, Amatullah, for you?
Right. So, parenting comes with its own struggles. And being a parent myself, I've got a range. So I've got 2 teenagers and then 2 toddlers. Mm. So I know the pressure of parenting. And this particular course is about parenting yourself first, having the tools, knowing how to regulate your emotions. So parenting is your journey. Like, we often get mistaken as, our children's journey, but it's more about you. What are you learning? How are you connecting? How is it strengthening your connection with the Creator? And I would say it's about parenting ourselves first, even though we have grown up. But we still have a long way to parent ourselves first and be the true leaders as mothers to our children.
Yeah. So from your answers, I can see that you are into empowering women a lot. And you told me that when a woman is empowered, she empowers others.
Yeah.
Can you share a moment when you saw that triple effect come to life?
Of course. So, you know, the woman you see in front of you is a product of that. So we only give what we have. So I had the privilege of the teachers that I learned from.
Yes.
They weren't just teachers; they were leaders, and I would always look up to them. It's a kind of ripple effect. I would say the ripple of revival. They helped me connect with who I truly was. They helped me in my journey. And now I'm determined, now that I've realized how important it is for a woman to be connected with herself first and foremost, and to be at peace with who she is. And that's something now I teach other women as well.
How do you connect with yourself, Amatullah?
You know, through experiences, through the people I meet, and I always believe that Allah has sent me for a purpose. And it's, yes, as women, as mothers, we do have the role of, you know, raising our children. But what is that leadership quality in me that Allah has put? And He said that I sent everyone as leaders, you know, as His representatives. What is it that I'm representing? So that is one thing that I have always been very curious about from the past few years. And since I'm big on quotes, I remember reading this, like, what you seek is seeking you. And through that, I found answers like, okay, this is what, and the world gives you feedback as well. You know, the people that you meet, like, oh, there's something different about you, or this is something special about you. And I take that feedback, and now that has helped me identify, like, who really I am deep down, what is it that I have to offer. And that also comes from believing first that you were sent for a special purpose.
What's your special purpose? What is the unique thing, or your uniqueness, Amatullah?
I think the first one would be to help women connect with themselves, realize their true self-worth. And when they realize, that is when they can step beyond, look beyond, and dream, you know, of a bigger, accomplished, fulfilled life. So, and also I help them achieve or guide through this process of helping them achieve a state of sakina, which is peace. So when you're at peace, that is when you have clarity. But if you have all these emotional baggages and you're like, your mind is full of all the clutter, it's very hard to identify who you are, what your purpose is, and like, what is it that you want to leave behind as well. So my job is to help them firstly, or guide them to be in that state of peace regardless what's happening around, have that clarity and confidence to move forward in their life.
But you arrived in this long journey after a long battle for you with yourself. You've spoken openly about facing inner critiques. I remember that you told me this. And can you share with us some of the strongest doubt you went through, and how did you overcome this?
Yes, the strongest doubt I think I had for almost all of my life was self-doubt, like, am I capable? Can I do this? Do you think I have? Or is it just for, you know, reserved for a few people out there, you know, the confidence one, the smarter ones? So that the self-doubt was the biggest one, until I realized that I'm not just doubting myself, but also doubting the one who created me. And that would...
How is that?
So when you doubt yourself, you're like doubting, like, the one who created you. Do you think he created you in a good stature? Like, did he give you everything? Like, indirectly that doubt goes to, like, did Allah create me in the best stature, or is it that he has left something behind? Like, so that is something how I reframe myself. Like, so trusting him first, and trusting myself secondly, that whatever I have is from him, and whatever I intend to do, he will give me that strength, that wisdom, and he'll help me overcome that doubt. But firstly, I have to connect with him, set an intention, have clarity in my purpose. I think, yeah, that has helped me overcome. And I still have doubts. It's not that, I completely overcome. It does show up every once in a while when I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone. It does show up.
But how do you silence those negative inner voices when they show up?
Previously, I used to listen to it, like, okay, I used to sit with it. But now I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, are you powerful or am I powerful? So it's a war between two of us.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, I'm not going to allow you to win. So just changing that, turning my self-doubt into faith. So trusting myself and trusting Allah and trusting the plan and moving forward. Even if it was a failure in the end, so I'm not worried about the end, the result, but the journey. So I'm just focused on my journey, and the result, what is going to happen is going to happen.
But how becoming mindful of your emotion help you take back control during these moments of doubts?
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Being mindful of my emotions. So if I'm not mindful, there is no clarity. If I'm and it's very easy that we get overwhelmed by all sorts of different emotions, being women as well. But first labeling, okay, what am I going through? Why am I going through? And how is it that this emotion can become a catalyst in my growth? Not something that can stop me. I don't think I give that much power to my emotions, but I reframe it as, okay, this is what I'm going through. If it is, say, there have been times, even now, like fear keeps coming up. Like, I'm fearful. Like, I want to do this, but this fear, like, what if I fail? What if people, But then I question myself, like, how will this fear act as a catalyst in my growth? So I turn that fear into my growth, like, okay, I'm going to do it anyways, not worrying about what is going to happen. What is going to happen is going to happen, but that's not going to stop me.
Is that about reflection,
Yeah.
Amatullah?
Yeah.
You do this reflection,
Yes.
and you start analyzing what you've done and then guiding you to what to do.
And a lot of self-talk as well. So I do a lot of self-talk with myself.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now fear is there. Like, why are you here, fear? Like, what is it that you have? Because, yes, there are emotions, but these emotions are also there to help you as well. So they're not always going to pull you down. They pull you when you give them the power.
Yes.
But when you don't, but when you have the keys to your emotions, how are they going to pull you down? So I'm like, okay, this fear, okay, is going to help me maybe get out of my, comfort zone, do it anyways. So that is how I reframe everything.
I love this, Amatullah. So this fear will help you get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah. Because I know if I get stuck, then it's a downward spiral.
Right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
They say that so striving for progress, it's better than perfection.
Yeah.
And this is a tool, a powerful tool actually, to quiet this inner critique. Do you agree about this perspective?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that a tool that you use, like mindset that you use personally?
I do, 100% I do. So when I started writing, actually, I used to do like poetry. Now we have ChatGPT to correct everything. But back then, when I started writing, I remember I used to make so many mistakes. I wasn't very good at grammar and all of that.
Right.
But and I would hesitate posting it, Like, what if people say, oh, her English is bad, or she does not know her grammar well. But then I remember this quote, which like I said, I'm big on quotes. So do what you can. When you know better, do better. So I used to get feedback as well, like, so the sisters on my group would correct me. In fact, I had 2 or 3 whom I would reach up to and help them, correct my mistakes. They'd be like, you have to put a comma here, or you have to, edit this word. And so, and that actually helped me to, post it anyways. Like, I know there are going to be mistakes. And when I look back, some of them, and I'm like, oh my God, I wrote this piece and people loved it, but I can see so many mistakes in them now. So it's about, doing it anyways.
Do it anyway.
We humans are weak. We are full of flaws, and it's okay to show the real humanness, that you have done mistakes and you admit it, and you're trying to, overcome them, trying to, become a little better by each day. So it's never about perfection, it's about progress.
I love how you are so brave to share this weakness. Not many people share their weaknesses, Amatullah.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate this in you, in your personality. You are very brave.
Thank you.
I want you to think about the knowledge that you get, and I know you are fresh graduated now.
Yeah.
What knowledge or formal education or lived experience that you went through that make you grow as a leader or as a mother or as a coach?
I think firstly would be lived experience. And not just my experience, also the experience of the women that I have seen growing up. And that had a deep impact on me. Like, why is it that women has to minimize herself? Why is it that the mother always has to eat at the last? Why is it that, she's treated like this whereas the religion says something else, Why I always had that empathy and always that reasoning, like, why? And I grew up becoming that same woman. And after giving birth to my fourth daughter, I'm like, this is it. This is it. I don't want to be the same role model. I want to be someone who my daughters would look up to. Like, okay, no, she has faced challenges, but she knew how to overcome it. And she knew her self-worth. And she took pride in who she was. All of those things that helped me actually, have a different perspective of life, of who I was. So, yeah.
That's very nice. I want you to share some skills that give you strength to go from surviving into thriving mode.
Yeah. I think we just discussed about this, and I mentioned that one thing that keeps me going from survival to thrival is everything is happening for me.
Right, yeah.
That's it. And the second one would be, and this is another big one, is holding the world, like dunya, in your hand, not in your heart. Because if you're going through all the heartbreaks, then you're holding everything so close. But that's the space that only belongs to the Creator. And the last thing is the world is a reflection of you. So the outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So we need to go back and look inwards, what's happening. What is it that I need to focus on, change on, So
let's stay with thought for a moment, and I will give you a list of skills.
Yeah.
I want you to choose 3 skills that they are the more powerful skills in your life, and they helped you in this journey. And put them in order of importance. Tell me which ones you have.
So in comes to skills, firstly is vision. That really helps me. That's my top. Second is listening, communication.
So the first one is vision.
Vision.
Tell me about your vision, Amatullah.
So my vision is to empower as many women as I can, and help them, overcome these barriers, and allow them to see the beauty in themselves first. That is my vision.
Beautiful vision.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I want you to go through the other card, which is the mindset. The mindset, it has some elements as well. I want you to give me 3 as well, and walk me through these 3. Why it's so important for you, these 3?
First would be curiosity, reflection, openness.
What do you mean by curiosity?
Curiosity is if there are things happening in your life, don't just accept it. Be curious. Like, why is it happening? What is happening? Be always a seeker. And then you'll get answers. If you're just
Beautiful.
accepting it and sitting like, oh, this is happening to me, and this is a repetitive pattern in my life. I've always been like this. I've always been tested, and others have got it better. And, just be curious. Those people who have it better, like, why? If there are people succeeding, like, why? Like, what is their strength? So I think curiosity is something that that has helped me as well. Reflection, I'm big on it. Just sit down, take our time and reflect. I know we are busy in our lives and don't have time to reflect, but please do.
Yes.
That will give a lot of clarity, put things into perspective.
Beautiful.
Openness to receiving knowledge, openness to receiving wisdom, openness to experiences, rather than just being in that closed shell. No, I'm not meant for that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk to this person. I don't want to, just being open. And that's when you receive, when you're open.
That's very unique, Amatullah, very unique mindset shift. Okay, with the values now. The three values that they are tied to your leadership journey.
Oh, okay. So the first one would be compassion, service, and the last is trust. Or I would say compassion, trust, and service.
Why did you put trust in the middle?
I think first, like, when you have that compassion, you also need to trust. Trust is a big one, I know, but for me it started with compassion, being compassionate. And then that pushed me into trusting, like, okay, if this is my vision and I'm being a very compassionate person, I need to trust. I need to trust Allah. I need to trust myself, and whatever the vision that I have, that in turn is going to help me, with my vision.
So do you use compassion as a tool to build a trust with others?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And what's the third one you have?
Service.
So service, is that giving back to community?
Absolutely. And being in service of women, I think it's the biggest honor that I love serving women. It gives me just so much pleasure that I'm able to do this service, and that actually pushes me to do more when I see the happy faces in the end of a session, when I see women, changing their perspective, tapping into themselves. That just gives me so much joy.
Did you have any challenges coaching women?
Not really. I would say their challenges would actually strengthen me in my work. So
tell me about it.
So when someone comes to you, obviously they're broken, they're going through something, and there are challenges happening. So firstly, I tell them that the help is not going to come from me; it's through me. So just putting that into perspective. And when I listen to their challenges, I realize that there are just so many women. If they have benefited from just that few sessions that I take, there's so many women out there who are actually struggling. And we can just say that by looking at the families around us, that women are struggling and they need someone at least to listen, be empathetic. Okay, I know you're going through something. I know this is happening. And just being there and listening to them, just that helps them overcome a lot of what's happening. Otherwise, they constantly doubt, like, is it me who's thinking like this? Or am I being ungrateful? Or am I, there are just so many doubts they have. Just being there, listening to them, a listening ear helps them just overcome a lot of their challenges.
So, Amatullah, listening to others' challenges helped you a lot. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I always think, like, okay, if I were in her shoes, if I were to give an advice to my daughter, if she was in, God forbid, how would I react? Will I stay in that victim mode, or am I going to push? Because I'm all about not just, yes, I do listen, but at the end, I want change. And that's what I'm passionate about. I'm like, yes, this is happening in your life, but how are you going to adapt? How are you going to come out of that situation? Let's work on that.
Yes.
Work on what we can control. Work on yourself first, and then the things that are out of our control, that Allah is going to control them anyway.
Yes.
So let's not, focus on
You
the
can't
things that
control
we
this.
cannot. So I'm all about change. Okay, even if the situation isn't changing, but I want you to change. How is it that you're becoming more resilient? How is it that you are becoming more positive person? How is it that you're increasing in your gratitude? So I'm like more focused on, okay, this has happened. All right, now what to do now?
What to do? What's
Yeah,
next?
what's next now?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I
That's
focus
beautiful.
on. Yeah.
Let's go through just a little activity here,
Yeah.
beautiful activity that I do with my participant. And this is 4 strategies that I have from my research. I want you to arrange them. On the top of each box, it has one of those strategies. And I want you to arrange them in order of importance for you, for your leadership journey. And let's walk through this order, please.
Okay. So the first one for me would be vision-driven transformation. So for me, it always started with a vision.
Yes.
I had this vision, and I was vision-driven.
Yes.
And that helped me transform first and foremost, and made me realize there's so many sisters who are struggling, who also need this kind of support, mentorship, or coaching. So vision-driven transformation, first one.
Do you share your vision with your team?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I love sharing. So I tell them, like, okay, fine, you're coming here, you're taking these courses with me. All right, all good. But what I want to see is the transformation. So it's not just about coming and learning, and for a few days you're like, oh yeah, she taught something really nice, and yeah, but the change. So
do you follow up with the change?
Sometimes I do, but with I encourage them to make a book, a journal.
Yeah.
So just writing down. So okay, this has changed. So and I usually begin with asking, even if in my sessions, even during my halaqas, like, what has changed from last year, 2024 to 2025? What is that one change? And what is it that you want to change this year? How is it that you want to grow this year?
Beautiful.
So it's always, for me, it's always about transformation. It's not about, yeah, my life was good, 2024 was okay, and everything was good. Yeah, but what about you? How has you changed? How are you evolving over the years?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this.
So the vision-driven transformation.
Second one, please.
Trust-based,
Trust-based.
the decision making is like, you have to trust your vision, trust yourself. Even if, like I said, I do have like big dreams. So it's not just about achieving my dreams, believing in them, yes, but the journey, the journey that I'm being put on. So I have to trust. If there's no trust, then I wouldn't be able to go ahead.
So we enjoy the journey, because leadership is not just a destination. It's the beautiful journey of the leadership that we are going through. That's excellent. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
And the third one, so the second one is trust-based, and the third one now.
Yeah. So I think there would be a bit of tie between both, but I'm big on continuous learning through renewal and innovation. So I have been a student of knowledge for the past 20 years. And I love seeking knowledge through different people, not just one organization, one teacher. So acquiring knowledge. So my coaching, how I started what it used to be to now, there have been a lot of changes in my programs or courses, because I'm always
Can
upskilling.
you share some of these changes you have?
Yes. So when I started coaching, I would just start right off with, okay, what's going on, blah, 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 blah. But now I'm like, I start off with grounding first, and then I ask the sister, like, what is one name that is going to help us get through today's session, So she'd maybe pick up, like, I'm feeling very, I'm going through this hardship, so maybe I'll choose the name Ya Latif. So we do this grounding. We call upon the beautiful name of Allah, and then, like, okay, now we are going to begin, inshallah. And by the end of session, we see the barakah.
And then
and previously I never incorporated like breathing and all of that, but now I do. And I also finish off my session with visualization, like, okay, this is who you are going to be. Just see yourself, being that person that you want to be, seeing how resilient you are now, seeing yourself overcoming all the challenges and being at peace, or whatever their goals are. So I end up with visualization, and then we include a dua, and all of those things. So that is how it has changed over years. Previously, it used to be whatever I'd learned. Plus, obviously, a bit of myself. Like, we always bring our uniqueness into our practice.
So you're guiding them practically to see and to find those essence of the things that they choose in their life. And this is about coaching. It's not about telling them what to do, that guiding them on how to recover and how to discover as well their essence. Is that right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So I ask them, like, what is it that you want? So they tell me, oh, this is what I want, peace in my life. I want to be doing this. And I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, just write it down. We'll just break it down and just visualize yourself doing it. How does it feel? I'm like, okay, it feels amazing. Or it feels, and finally I feel like I'm at peace with myself. I'm like, yes, those are the signs. Like, let's work on those things. So that's something that I've incorporated, a lot of du'as and visualization and the beautiful names of Allah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And what's your last strategy?
Risk taking through effective communication.
Yes.
This one's actually a big one, and I have my own struggles with that. Just being open.
How is that?
So, of course, you're doing something. You're providing a service, but people also should know what you're doing.
Of course.
And that's about,
it's risky, isn't it?
Yeah. Communicating. So sometimes it's like, are you just over communicating, or are you trying to sell something? I mean, there has to be a fine line between selling and providing a service. So I'm like, okay, I have to tell myself, okay, I'm out there now. I'm working on my social media. It's because I'm providing a service. If I stop myself, I mean, there are so many who might need it. So taking that risk. Otherwise, I love to be, being an introvert, love to be in my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And let people, do the talking, share.
But how do you
about
find
me.
this balance between both? Risk-taking and then communicate this to your people.
Yeah, risk-taking would be, actually with communication, you have to find the right words as well to communicate.
Yeah, yes.
And something that I'm learning, working on, is, communicate, but have an effective communication. But also what you're communicating is also benefiting. It's not about, you're not making it about yourself.
Yeah.
But, the other person, like, how is it going to benefit? How are we going to work together and do, these amazing things, or bring this vision to life, and all about that. So not making it about myself, but as a service. So I think that is very important. But
that's beautiful. Beautiful. I know, mashallah, you have 4 daughters. I want to ask you if you want your daughters to could carry just one lesson of your life's work. What would you want that to be?
It would be to be a service to people, to the community, to the ummah. And that is what is going to bring people together. And I tell them, if you want to become valuable, like if you want people to value you, you give them value first. By whatever talent that you have, whatever skill that you have, give them that value. That is when you become valuable. And I give the example of the saying, I'm not sure who said this, like the life is like a shadow. If you run after it, you'll never be able to catch it. But once you abandon it, that is when it has no choice but to follow you. Like you turn your back, and the shadow has no choice but to follow you.
Beautiful.
So do it, but do it with a pure intention, open heart, not having expectations. Don't make it a business when you're doing good to others. Like, they have to be good to me as well. When I'm giving love to someone, they have to love me back. And when I'm doing this service, don't make it a business. You're doing it do it with the purest of intentions, that you're doing it for the sake of Allah, and then He's going
From
to
your
bless
heart,
you.
yeah.
Do it from your heart.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's what something I do. Like, I absolutely, I just live the quote, be the change you want to see in this world. If there's something that you don't like it, you be the change. There's so many things I always questioned and I always felt bad about, like, why is this and what is this, until I'm like, okay, let me be the change. Let me do this first. Let me do the hard work. I mean, like, if there's something that you dislike, then you be the change and you show how it is. Yeah.
You read a lot of beautiful reflection in front of me, and I know that you are coming from a beautiful family of poetry. Is that right? Your father has the skill of beautiful poetry.
Yeah.
You wanted to read reflection to your daughter.
Yeah.
That you wrote.
Yeah.
Do you want to share that with
sure.
us today?
I can share a snippet.
Yeah.
So I'm big on writing poetry, like I said. Now I've stopped posting, but I used to, like, I think I wrote about 40 in total, poetry both in Urdu and English.
Yeah.
That's how I express myself. So this was something that I wrote for my daughters. I'll read a para. It's a big one. So it's a kind of nasiha, like an advice from a mother.
Yes.
So the line goes, "My daughter, please be aware, this might be uneasy, but I still need to say, there might come a time I may not be there. So I want you to embrace whatever comes your way with courage, hope, perseverance, and faith. Never allow dunya to occupy much space. Your heart is sacred and you choose what stays. Anytime you feel uncertain or a trial hits your way, remember to humble yourself, seek forgiveness, and bow down to prostrate."
Wow, nice.
Yeah, these are some of the lines.
Beautiful, beautiful. My last question today for you, Amatullah, how are you building your legacy through this work?
I'm not sure if I'm building it, or, sometimes the legacy builds in itself. You don't actually do it, but for me, it's about, touching people's life, helping them transform. It's about, showing them the beauty of this world. Like, we have been given just one life, and, dare to dream big. And dream beyond what you can achieve, like, slightly unrealistic. It doesn't have to be just, okay, this is what I know and this is what I can achieve. Like, dare to dream big. Have that courage to do, to step out of your comfort zone, to do things differently. Because, I used to pass by a graveyard at Litcombe. There's one at Litcombe. So I used to drop my daughter.
Yes.
And every time I would tell her, there's so many they're lying there with their dreams buried. We don't want to be among them.
Wow.
It's okay. Just dare and believe that even if you don't achieve, even if you fail, there's only feedback. There's no failure, actually. But it's about the process. It's about the journey. It's what you're going to learn, what you're going to become, how you are going to inspire others. So, don't always limit yourself. Allow yourself to unlock. When that's when you unlock yourself, when you tap into your potential. If you minimize yourself, how is it that you are going to know what you can achieve? So it's about touching the lives of people and helping them, thinking beyond.
Beautiful. Touching the lives of people to unlock themselves.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. So they can tap into their potential.
Yeah,
beautiful, Amatullah. I love your words. These very wise words. I wish you all the best in this beautiful journey, and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Roy. It was a pleasure being here and talking to you, being on this podcast. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Constant progress is far more powerful than delayed perfection. Perhaps the job you hold today isn't your dream job, or the project you are passionate about isn't fully polished. Maybe your vision is still forming and confidence wavers at times. But what matters most is that you begin. Start. Start even if it is small. Start even if it's uncertain. Trust that with sincere intention and effort, God Almighty will guide the way forward and allow your journey to unfold as it's meant to. Growth isn't born from waiting for the perfect moment. It's born from showing up step by step with resilience and tawakkul. Some of the greatest visionaries and strength makers started from nothing but an idea and a drive to make a difference. They climbed steadily, step by step, never allowing fear or the illusion of perfection to stop them. Perfection may be a tempting goal, but it often stands in the way of progress. So embrace the climb, take the first step, and trust that success will meet you along the way. Thank you for joining us today at the Leaders Code podcast. Until next time, we'll be here uncovering more wisdom, one story at a time.